So we are joined by David Jackson, owner of Tekki, and he specializes in website design for small businesses. Let's talk about YouTube, David.
Yes.
What would and I'll contribute here as well from the video production standpoint, but I will defer to you here, of course, on the website design side. So, if a company has a even a modest website, what should they be thinking about in terms of YouTube applications for that site?
So, I mean, if there wasn't a better time to be on camera on video, I mean, now is the time to get on YouTube. And I think a misconception that a lot of people have is that they need a very, very high production video. Really, they just need to get on camera. They need to just, they can get their phone out, point it at their face, and just start talking about their business because what we're looking for, what people are looking for on a website now, when they do a search, when they stumble onto a page, is they're looking for authenticity and they're looking for trust. And what better way to do that than to have a video of yourself where they can get to meet you right then and there before they even reach out, and they can get a sense of how you speak and the knowledge that you bring about your product and just how passionate you are. There's no better way to do that than video. And having a video on your website is a must in 2020.
Obviously, you're preaching to the choir. I couldn't agree with you more. And I would just piggyback on that thought. If you are a small business owner and you're sitting down and you're dedicating time to be on camera, even if it's with a smartphone, I would highly encourage you to set a rundown, even if it's you're going to create 3 videos today. Set a rundown so each of those videos is very focused on what expertise you're giving, what problem you're solving for your client and for your potential viewers. Think about the viewer's experience and why they would be watching this. Just like when you're doing a search engine optimization campaign and you're trying to get into the user's mind of what he or she is searching for, think of YouTube in the same way. Do your research before you shoot the video. Find out who is going to be your competitor the moment you upload that video and how can you do it differently. Set a rundown, and as a small business owner, you don't have time, so use that time wisely and knock out maybe 3 videos that can last you a monthly video for the quarter, for example. David, let's go back to the website design application.
Yes.
Are businesses embedding these videos? Is it better to send the user to YouTube? What's kind of the mechanics of how they're actually used on the site?
So the best way is to upload it to YouTube and then embed that video on the website. And there are a few reasons for that. The first reason is, of course, the space and the bandwidth. When you're using YouTube, the largest video platform on the internet, you're using their servers, and it's gonna play perfectly. It's gonna size itself accordingly. Everything is going to look really great when you just embed the video. Now, here's a quick tip, and I actually wrote a blog post on this. One downside to YouTube is they'll let you embed the video, but then at the very end, these little boxes pop up, and those are the recommended videos. And they do that because YouTube wants you to click on another video and get you to go to their site. Now, they actually re-enabled a feature that allows you to disable that functionality. So at the very end of the video, it won't recommend anything else, and it'll just stop, and it'll keep someone from potentially looking at a cat video or something like that. But YouTube, embedding the YouTube video directly onto the site is still the best way to put a video on your website by far.
Awesome. So even I'm learning something as we go here. I didn't know that you could disable those recommended videos. And we're going to talk about the back end of YouTube here in a moment. Is the YouTube creator clicking that box on the back end of YouTube as he or she uploads the video, or is that something that's done on the website design side of things where you're coding the fact that, hey, forget about any recommended videos here?
Now, we do it in the manual coding way, but I know that when I used to do it just through clicking the embed button, there was a checkbox that said, do not play recommended videos. Now, if they remove that, because they did remove it for a time, there's a special, you just type these 4 characters, and I'll say it here, but we have a post about this. It's question mark REL equals 0. and you put that at the very end of the YouTube link, and that's basically saying related, REL, equals no. So we're saying do not show related videos at the end. And it's just a little trick, you know, for putting a video on a website. You want to keep them there because YouTube, Facebook, things like that are very good at taking the user and keeping them there.
All right, David is getting into the nitty gritty of the coding. I love it. So, David, as you know, a lot of small business owners actually don't know that YouTube is owned by Google, and so the search engine optimization, the search-friendly mechanism of YouTube is actually very powerful. So, if and when you're uploading your YouTube video, don't forget to write a very search engine-friendly paragraph in the summary that says, ABC Plumbing Company is a family-owned plumbing company. You know, we offer X, Y, and Z service. Visit this website, and put the website in an actual link that can be clickable, which means that you have the HTTP there. David, what am I missing?
Oh, I mean, you're right on. Having that description, especially the first two lines of the description, those show up in YouTube's search. And so when you search for a video, those first two lines are very important in getting a click through. So you want to be enticing, you want to use keywords, and you want to have a link to your website, because everything past the second line may get buried, but YouTube especially is so good for SEO because A, Google owns it and they're going to prefer their own properties, but B, it actually increases the engagement on your website. And so a quick rundown of how SEO functions is SEO really looks for engagement. And so let's say you have two sites. There's ABC Plumbing and then there's ABC Plumbing's competitor. ABC Plumbing decides, hey, I'm going to put a video on my homepage, and it's going to be about a minute, but it's going to explain who we are and go through all of the basics. But ABC Plumbing's competitor is, no, we're not doing a video. We're not going to do it. Just, we don't need it. Guess what's going to happen in a few months? People are going to visit ABC Plumbing's website, and they're going to click play on the video and be on the website for an extra minute longer than they would with ABC Plumbing's competitor, because most people will click the video over text, over pictures. The best way to engage with a brand online is through video. And so Google is going to look at that and say, wow, more people are spending time on ABC Plumbing's website than their competitor. I think we need to bump them up because it seems that people like them more than the competitor. And that is one of the biggest benefits to having a video on your website.
And in speaking a little bit more about the back end of YouTube, so what you see on the user side as you're uploading a video to YouTube, you're going to see thumbnail options. Similar to other platforms, you're going to see 3 auto-populated preview images, thumbnail images that are going to show up. If you're a newer channel, you may only have the 3 options there until you grow your channel, and then you're going to have more flexibility there in uploading custom images. You're going to have an option to geotag your location. You're going to have an option to specify which country it's in. You'll have some closed captioning options. And then you have this section for searchable tags. Now, David, I remember a recommendation that you had given me maybe a year ago or so, is that you want to have 10 tags in there, and that would be the max. Is that still the case? And bring folks up to speed in terms of what those tags actually are and what they should be, how they should be using them.
Those tags are essentially just search tags. If anyone's familiar with how Instagram or Twitter uses their tags, they're just little keywords that you can add in that someone would likely type in to search for your video. And so if we're talking about ABC Plumbing, using them as an example again, you would possibly type in plumbing company in Kansas, or plumbing company in Lawrence, or plumbing company in Topeka. Those are tags that you can use in your video, but you don't just want to do that. You want to describe what's going on in your video too. If you're telling people how to unclog their toilet, you would use a keyword or a tag such as toilet unclogging tutorial. Now that's a bit of a mouthful, but you get the drift. But yeah, you'll want to have about 10 of those. Now, a tag doesn't have to be just one word. It can actually be multiple words put together. And getting about 10 of those is going to be great when it comes to having your video be more discoverable on YouTube. And so really think about 10 things that someone would likely type in to find your video and add them to each video you upload. It's all from the perspective of tips, guidance, and information in their industry. And that's exactly where you want to be too. That's what YouTube's all about. People are looking to mostly solve their problems, and you want to be that expert in the field because now you have the same megaphone that a big company would have. Someone is looking for a problem that you know how to solve, and that's what YouTube is all about.
When you're uploading that video, you have an option to geotag where your video is produced. And similar to, you brought up a moment ago, Instagram. Similar to Instagram, there may be 5 or 6 different ways that you could geotag your actual location. I'm in Lawrence, Kansas right now, but I'm also in the Indian Hills neighborhood. I'm also near the Baker Wetlands Nature Preserve, and so I can geotag myself as being in the nature preserve right now. What would you suggest for a local business geotagging their company? Should they do the entire city? Should they do an entire neighborhood to show that authenticity? And I know it's gonna. I know that the answer is going to fluctuate depending on the need. But where's the most likely scenario for someone just getting into this?
So Google is very smart at identifying where a person is and how local they are based on what's called hyperlocal signals. And an example of this I can use for what we tried with SEO before was we actually tagged a local drive-in movie theater on a person's page, and we tagged it in their video as well. And that resulted in them getting a lot of very local searches for people within a 5 to 10 mile radius because those locations pertain to that same area. And so when it comes to YouTube, I would try to be as specific as possible with your tagging when it comes to not only the tags you use, but the geotags you use as well.
That segues really well to my next question. Let's say that you and I are well, we're doing it right now. We each have our own business, right? And so we are producing this YouTube video together, right? So when we are uploading this video onto YouTube and we are picking how we're going to use those 10 tags, those 10 searchable tags, does your company get 5 and my get 5? Or should we together collectively say, hey, here are 10 phrases that this video is really going to trigger a search result from our intended audience. Let's go after that and let's be topic specific. What would you say about cross promotion in that way?
Yes, the latter of what you said is perfect. Really picking those 10 tags that would likely be the intent of the user searching for this content. And so we would, collaborate together on, I really think people looking for this will type this in or this, and coming up with those 10 tags together, because it is all about the user's intent. When they stumble onto this video, what were they looking for? And does this fit what they were looking for? And so the latter of what you said is absolutely perfect when it comes to a tagging strategy for discovery.
I mentioned a moment ago, the new YouTube creator might not have flexibility on creating a thumbnail. If and when they do have some creative license in terms of what to do with the thumbnail, what should they have on there? I always like to see a big bold headline saying exactly what that video is teaching me, and then maybe who the artist is, or who the agent is who's delivering that, who the expert is that's going to be featured. What do you like to see on it?
Oh, yeah, big bold text, a great image that is related to or relevant to what I'm searching for. And also thumbnails for YouTube videos, absolutely critical. I mean, absolutely critical. I mean, they account for, I would say, probably 80 to 90% of the click-through rate, and they're flooded. You can go to YouTube right now and all you'll see are thumbnails that are custom made for the video content that you see. And so it doesn't need to be over the top. I mean, sometimes you see those funny thumbnails where the person is like screaming, or it looks like a painting of the guy holding the sides of his face. You don't have to be that over the top, but uh, it helps to have a human face, surprisingly enough. And this is the same with articles too. Featuring a human face will increase the click-through rate, but you can just have a picture of, an item that's related to what you're talking about, but certainly having big, bold text that describes it, because people are just going to be scrolling through, and I can almost guarantee they're going to look at the thumbnail before they even look at the title. And so definitely keep this in mind when you're thinking of how do I put together a good thumbnail? And that can be a whole separate video in itself.
So you don't want me to just arbitrarily just scream right now, ah! Now that's what I call hot YouTube tips 2020.
Yeah, the YouTube tips 101. What? Yeah, none of that. I would advise against that.
I'll try to tone it down over here.
Yeah.
But
I would like to talk about my favorite, most underutilized YouTube feature right now, and you're probably watching one right now. It's the playlist, and basically everyone knows what a playlist is, but for some reason no one is really using that, especially on a local level, to kind of curate their content and put it together. And another misnomer, I think people don't realize that you can stack your playlist and include other national, worldwide experts, incorporate their video into your rundown of what you're presenting to your audience. And I think that's a good way to just kind of change up the voice. It's good maybe if you're watching a playlist, instead of having 20 videos of the same YouTube creator, talking on camera, as much as we like hearing our own voices, mixing up the voice, mixing up the perspective, getting a different expert on there. But especially, you may find yourself in a situation where if you started a YouTube video series, or if you started a YouTube channel, here in April of 2020, fast forward 2 years, you might have a bunch of videos that really kind of exist under one category. You can lump them together and really start developing a playlist that gets some more traction and that your clients can use as a resource. If you're solving a problem, if you're solving a bunch of household problems, or if you're David Jackson of Tekki Web Solutions and you're giving free advice and it's related to e-commerce for small business, all of those videos over time, it's like an investment portfolio where for your own search engine optimization as a business, you're growing that asset, but then for the client, he or she can bounce around and find the relevant expertise, the relevant advice that really matters to them. Are there any tools on YouTube that you feel strongly about, or maybe underutilized, or things that people overlook?
I mean, the playlist, what you said, that's right on. They're really not utilized that much, and I like the idea of adding the other videos that aren't even yours to the playlist, because you're really thinking of the customer, and you're thinking of the viewer and what their experience will be, and so they're more likely to share that playlist if you've curated it with not just your content, but other content too, because they'll be having a sigh of relief as to finally someone put all of this together in one stream, one playlist that's all related. I don't have to go over here and go over here, or try and find all these videos. It's all here, so I can easily share this. I can send this over. It's a fantastic feature, and yes, you're right, it is underutilized.
I was a television producer for 10 years, so what I'm about to say stems from that experience. If you and I are producing what is a 20 or 25-minute video, from a rundown standpoint, if people are really experiencing that playlist, or let's say you luck out and your viewer is actually sitting down to spend an hour and binge watching all of your content, if they just watch 20 or 25 minutes of this video chat, for example, it would be a great breather for them to get a little pacer, maybe just a 20-second video where it's just you on camera saying, hey, right now we're going to introduce this speaker from Seattle who's going to talk about this from their perspective, and they're going to bring to the table something I can't. And maybe it's just a really quick introduction, but you're again still being the host in a way, and then that video could be kind of the sandwich in between your longer piece of content and then that third party content that it'll skip to next. So just think about those pacers And that way, even it's still something you're taking ownership on your channel, that you're sort of guiding your audience through that experience.
Yeah, that's a great idea too. It's something I haven't really even thought of. Because then they won't be caught off guard, and it just shows that you care. It shows that you care about what you've put together for them. And so, I mean, that's a great idea. I really, really like that.
So, David, what would be a good template for a headline of a YouTube video that you would suggest? For me, I always try to put the topic, the problem that's being solved, and if I could fit it in, the business that's kind of offering the expertise.
Yes, that's the best way to do it. You want to have a great title, but something that's also kind of catchy. There are certain words you can use that kind of dictate to the customer, okay, this is easy and I want to click on it. And so use words like easy, simple, fast, quick, quick, and then use numbers too. So 5 quick tips, 3 fast ways to do this. Those are all great additions to a title. You want to be honest, you don't want to be, trying to get a click, but those definitely help. And then, yes, always include your business's brand name at the end of the video. You can typically separate it with a hyphen, with, a block, a slash. And then if you can, or if include the city name, that definitely doesn't hurt for local searches. I wouldn't necessarily go down into like the neighborhood or anything, just the city when it comes to the title. But yeah, film the video and then really think about an enticing title that would encourage a click.
David, thank you so much for your advice and for your comfort during these very uncertain times. And I learned a lot even just in chatting with you during this video chat here. And so I hope that our audience gets a lot of value from it as well.
Thank you for this opportunity, man. I think this is really great that you're doing this. This is fantastic. And I just wish you the best in everything.
Likewise, my friend, and I will see you during the storm and then after the storm when we are all in full recovery mode. And I can't wait to see you for a total rebound. How can folks get in touch with you, David?
So you can get in touch with me at our website, tekki.com. That's spelled TEKKII.com. You can look us up on Facebook. You can look us up on LinkedIn. You can check out our website and, feel free to send me an email if you have any questions.
All right, David, thank you again for your time, and we will see you down the road.
All right. Take care, Matt. Thank you so much.